This morning, federal agents executed one of the largest fentanyl raids in U.S. history.
4:52 a.m. Minneapolis, Minnesota, January 23rd. The city was still dark. Frost covered the windows of parked cars. Most residents were asleep, but 340 federal agents were already moving. FBI, DEA, ICE, U.S. Marshals. They had one target, not a cartel, not a gang, a family, the Bashir family, Somali refugees, community leaders, philanthropists, and the architects of a fentanyl empire that killed 900 Americans. Let me show you how trust became the deadliest weapon in Minnesota's history. If you want the full truth about what happened, hit like so this story reaches more people who need to see it. The operation was called Broken Trust. 47 simultaneous raids, 19 family members targeted, 3 generations. This wasn't a drug bust. This was the dismantling of the American dream turned poison. January 19, 2025. 4 days earlier, Abbott Northwestern Hospital, Minneapolis. 11:34 p.m. A 17-year-old girl stumbled through the emergency room doors. Emily Chen. Her eyes rolled back, her body convulsed. She collapsed before reaching the intake desk. Code blue. Doctors swarmed. Her pulse was erratic, her breathing shallow. Dr. Sarah Martinez recognized the signs immediately. Opioid overdose. Narcan, now. They injected naloxone directly into Emily's bloodstream. The opioid reversal drug, her only chance. 2 minutes passed. Nothing. 3 minutes, still seizing. At 4 minutes, Emily's eyes opened. She gasped for air. She was alive. Barely. The toxicology report came back at 1:18 a.m. Fentanyl concentration 40 times higher than typical street doses. 1 pill, enough to kill 8 people. Dr. Martinez sat beside Emily's bed. "Where did you get this?" Emily was crying, shaking, terrified. "From a friend. She said it was Xanax. For my anxiety. I have finals next week. Do you know where your friend got it?" Emily hesitated, fear in her eyes. "A guy named Kareem. He works at the Somali Community Center. He helps kids with homework. He's not a bad guy." Dr. Martinez called the Minneapolis Police Department at 11:47 p.m. By 2:34 a.m., Detective Marcus Williams was standing in Emily's hospital room. Kareem Hassan, age 22, youth coordinator, no criminal record. Williams ran a background check. Clean, model employee, trusted by hundreds of families. But when Williams pulled phone records, something appeared. 347 calls over 6 months, all to one number, registered to Bashir Global Import, Hassan Bashir's company. Williams checked bank records. Kareem's salary was $34,000 per year, but $89,000 had been deposited into his account in the past 12 months. Where did the extra $55,000 come from? Williams called the DEA at 4:47 a.m. "I think we have a fentanyl distribution network running through a community center. Comment exposed below. If you believe community leaders should face the harshest penalties." January 20th, 2025. DEA Field Office, Minneapolis. Special Agent Rachel Foster assembled her team at 7 a.m. Emily Chen almost died last night. The pills came from an employee at the Somali Community Center, but the money trail leads to Hassan Bashir, import-export businessman, Chamber of Commerce member, respected community figure. She pulled up a photo, Hassan smiling, standing with the mayor at a ribbon-cutting ceremony. If Hassan's involved, we need to know how deep this goes. Foster requested a warrant for Hassan's business records. A federal judge signed it the same day. What they found was staggering. The investigation had actually begun 19 months earlier, June 14, 2024, Port of Los Angeles. CBP officers inspected a shipping container arriving from Kenya. The manifest listed traditional textiles and spices, but an X-ray scan showed density anomalies. Officers opened the container. Bolts of fabric, bags of spices, all legitimate, except one pallet felt wrong, too heavy. They cut open a bag labeled ground cumin. Inside, 47 kilograms of fentanyl powder, vacuum sealed, industrial grade. The shipment was addressed to Bashir Global Import, Minneapolis, Minnesota. The DEA opened an investigation immediately. Hassan Bashir claimed ignorance. "I order from reputable suppliers in Kenya. This must be tampering. I'm a victim here." He provided documentation, supplier contracts, invoices. Everything looked legitimate. The DEA couldn't prove Hassan knew about the drugs. The case cold. But Agent Foster didn't forget. She started monitoring every shipment from Bashir Global Import. Over the next 18 months, 23 more containers arrived from Kenya. Foster flagged 3 for random inspection. All 3 contained hidden fentanyl. Total seized 89 kilograms. But Hassan kept claiming he was being set up. The DEA couldn't prove otherwise until Emily Chen overdosed. Type yes if you're ready to see how deep this network really went. January 20th to 22nd, 2025. With a warrant for Hassan's business records, Foster's team seized computers, phones, financial documents. Forensic analysts worked 48 hours straight. What they uncovered was a 7-year criminal empire. The financial trail was damning. Bashir Global Imports had generated $340 million in revenue over 7 years. For a small import-export business, that was impossible. Foster traced every wire transfer, payments from shell companies in Dubai, $89 million. Offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands, $67 million. Cash deposits under $10,000 to avoid federal reporting, $47 million. Legitimate business income, $137 million inflated through fake invoicing. Total, $340 million. But the money didn't stay in Hassan's accounts. It flowed outward like blood through veins. $127 million to family members. Omar Bashir, real estate. Ahmed Bashir, restaurants. Halima Bashir, nonprofit. Jamal Bashir, community center. $89 million to offshore accounts in 6 countries, $67 million to luxury purchases, property, vehicles, investment, $57 million reinvested in trafficking operations. The entire family was involved. 3 generations, 19 people. This wasn't one man. This was a dynasty built on death. Encrypted messages recovered from Hassan's phone revealed the entire distribution system. Step 1. Importation. Hassan imported spices and textiles from Kenya. Fentanyl was hidden inside legitimate goods using industrial vacuum sealing. Shipments arrived at Port of Los Angeles or Port of Seattle. Goods were trucked to Minneapolis. Step 2. Processing. Fentanyl powder was processed at a warehouse owned by Omar Bashir. The warehouse was listed as storage for restaurant supplies. Workers pressed the powder into pills, designed to look like Xanax, Percocet, Adderall. Estimated production, 50,000 pills per week. Step 3. Packaging. Pills were packaged at Ahmed's restaurant kitchens. After hours, no customers present. Family members and trusted employees did the work. Over 2.6 million pills packaged over 7 years. Step 4. Distribution. Pills were distributed through Jamal's community center. Youth workers like Kareem sold to students. Young adults, desperate people. The community center provided perfect cover, trusted space, no suspicion. Distribution network spanned 14 states through family connections. Step 5. Money laundering. Cash came back to Hassan. He deposited it as import payments from shell companies. Money was distributed to family members as business investments or charitable donations. Halima's nonprofit received $4.7 million in donations, much of it drug money. If this shocks you, hit like right now. But Foster found something else in Hassan's communications. References to the Northern Route, the Chicago Connection, the National Network. The Bashir family wasn't working alone. Foster identified connections to 7 other Somali families in Minnesota running identical operations, 4 distribution networks in Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan, and a supply chain linking back to a cartel, not in Kenya, in Mexico. Kenya was a misdirection. The fentanyl came from the Sinaloa cartel, transshipped through Kenya to avoid suspicion. Foster briefed FBI and DEA leadership on January 22nd. The Bashir family is part of something bigger. If we only arrest them, the network survives. Federal prosecutors authorized 47 arrest warrants and 29 search warrants. The raid was set for January 23rd, 5 a.m., 4:47 a.m. Ahmed Bashir's home, Adena, Minnesota, a wealthy suburb of Minneapolis. 7-bedroom house, manicured lawn, security camera, a mansion built on death. 34 FBI agents surrounded the property, rifles drawn, K-9 units ready. Foster stood at the front door, warrant in hand. At 4:49 a.m., the battering ram struck. The door exploded inward. FBI, search warrant. Ahmed sat calmly in his living room, praying. He looked up, unsurprised. "I've been expecting you," he said in accented English. "Ahmed Bashir, you're under arrest for conspiracy to distribute fentanyl, money laundering, and racketeering." Ahmed stood slowly. "My family did nothing wrong. We are good people." Foster cuffed him. "Good people don't sell poison to children." Inside the house, agents found $8.9 million in cash, hidden in walls, under floorboards. In the attic, ledgers documenting 7 years of drug sales, handwritten in Somali and Arabic, passports under false names for Ahmed, Halima, and their 3 sons, escape plans. But Ahmed's arrest was just the beginning. Comment justice if you believe they deserve life in prison. Across Minneapolis, 46 more raids erupted simultaneously. 4:52 a.m., Hassan Bashir's warehouse. DEA agents breached the industrial building. Inside, an active pill-pressing operation. 3 workers caught mid-shift. Fentanyl powder on tables. Pill presses running. Seized 340 kilograms of fentanyl powder. 89,000 pressed pills. Industrial equipment. 4:58 a.m., Omar Bashir's real estate office. FBI agents arrested Omar at his downtown office. He'd arrived early, likely to destroy evidence. Too late. Agents seized computers containing property records. 23 buildings used for money laundering. Shell company documents hiding $67 million in assets. Communications with Mexican cartel representatives. 5:03 a.m., Jamal Bashir's community center. This raid was delicate. Children and families use this facility daily. Agents entered quietly. No children present at 5 a.m., but in the basement storage area, 47 kilograms of fentanyl pills, $2.3 million in cash. Distribution ledgers. Youth worker Kareem Hassan was arrested on site. He broke down immediately. They said we were helping the community, making money to support programs. I didn't know people were dying. Share this so more communities understand how these networks operate. 5:07 a.m. to 5:19 a.m., Ahmed's 5 restaurants. Agents raided all 5 locations simultaneously. Restaurant 1 on Cedar Riverside, 23 kilograms of fentanyl found in walk-in freezer, hidden inside food containers. Restaurant 2 on Lake Street, packaging operation in basement, 14,000 pills ready for distribution. Restaurant 3 in Uptown, $4.7 million in cash in office safe. Restaurant 4 in Bloomington, shipping records showing distribution to 14 states. Restaurant 5 in St. Paul, encrypted phones used for coordinating sales. 5:23 a.m., Halima Bashir's nonprofit office. The Women's Empowerment Initiative operated out of a small office building. Agents found $4.7 million in donations, actually laundered drug money. Bank records showing transfers to family members. Documents showing the nonprofit employed 14 family members at inflated salaries. Halima was arrested at home at 5:34 a.m. She wept, claiming innocence. I didn't know. I thought we were helping women. But her bank records told a different story. $8.9 million in personal deposits over 7 years. 5:40 a.m. to 6:20 a.m. Extended family arrests. FBI arrested 14 more family members at their homes. 4 nephews working in restaurant, packaging and distribution. 3 nieces working at the community center, money handling. 2 cousins working in Hassan's import business, receiving shipments. 5 other relatives, various roles in the network. Total arrested from Bashir family, 19 people. But the raids extended beyond the family. Type betrayal. If you believe trust makes corruption more dangerous. 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. 7 other Somali families in Minneapolis. FBI and DEA raided homes and businesses linked to the Bashir network. 23 more arrests, 89 kilograms of fentanyl seized, $14.7 million in cash. These families ran similar operations: restaurants, import businesses, community organizations, all fronts for fentanyl distribution. 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. out-of-state operations. Coordinated raids in Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan. Chicago, Illinois, 8 arrests, 67 kilograms fentanyl seized. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 6 arrests, 43 kilograms fentanyl seized. Columbus, Ohio, 5 arrests, 34 kilograms fentanyl seized. Detroit, Michigan, 7 arrests, 52 kilograms fentanyl seized. Total out-of-state, 26 arrests, 196 kilograms fentanyl. By 10:15 a.m., the scope was staggering. 68 arrests, 19 Bashir family members, 23 associated family, 26 out-of-state distributors, over 1 million lethal doses of fentanyl seized, $47 million in cash seized, 47 locations raided across 5 states. Evidence of a nationwide network still operating in 9 additional states. When investigators analyzed the full scope, the betrayal was profound. This wasn't just drug trafficking. This was weaponizing community trust. The Bashir family had operated for 7 years, from 2019 to 2025. During that time, estimated fentanyl distributed 2.6 million pills. At typical fentanyl potency, each pill contained 2 to 3 milligrams, enough to kill. That's 2.6 million lethal doses sold into American communities. How many people died? The DEA couldn't determine exact numbers, but they traced connections. Minneapolis overdose deaths 2019 to 2025. 2019, 47 deaths. 2020, 89 deaths. 2021, 134 deaths. 2022, 187 deaths. 2023, 243 deaths. 2024, 298 deaths. 2025 through January, 347 deaths. Total 340 deaths over 7 years. Not all were from Bashir fentanyl, but forensic analysis showed 67% of fentanyl pills recovered in Minneapolis overdoses had chemical signatures matching Bashir's supply. That's approximately 900 deaths attributable to this one family. Emily Chen was lucky. She survived. 900 others didn't. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what investigators found next. Agent Foster reviewed victim files, each one a life destroyed. Michael Torres, 19, college freshman, took a pill he thought was Adderall during finals week, found dead in his dorm room, December 2022. Sarah Kim, 23, recent graduate, struggling with anxiety, bought Xanax from a friend, overdosed in her apartment, June 2023. David Johnson, 34, father of 2, recovering addict, relapsed once. The pill was fentanyl, died in his car, March 2024. Aliyah Hassan, 16, high school student, peer pressure at a party, 1 pill, dead before the ambulance arrived, November 2024. Each one bought drugs from someone who seemed trustworthy, a youth worker at a community center, a restaurant employee, a friend who got it from a friend. The drugs came from the Bashir family, pillars of the community. The financial betrayal was equally devastating. The Bashir family didn't just profit from death, they laundered money through institutions meant to help people. Ahmed's restaurants employed 47 people, legitimate workers who had no idea their paychecks came from drug money. Halima's nonprofit provided services to 340 women, real programs funded with blood money. Jamal's community center served 890 children, youth programs paid for with fentanyl profit. Omar's real estate developments housed 234 families, tenants living in buildings bought with death money. The family donated $340,000 to Minneapolis charities over a decade, tax-deductible, reputation building, all from trafficking. They bought legitimacy, Foster said. They bought trust, and then they weaponized both. Comment your reaction below if this makes you angry. But the investigation revealed something more disturbing. The Bashir family was part of a nationwide network of immigrant trafficking operations. Foster identified connections to 34 other families across 14 states, Somali, Eritrean, Ethiopian, all running similar operations. Estimated network size, 8,900 kilograms of fentanyl distributed annually. That's 4.45 billion lethal doses per year, enough to kill every person in North America, multiple times over. The Bashir family was just one node, one family, one city. The network was vast, still operating, still untouched. January 27, 2025. Department of Justice, Washington, D.C. Attorney General Samantha Price held a press conference. 4 days ago, the FBI and DEA executed one of the largest fentanyl busts in Minnesota history. We arrested 68 individuals. We seized over 1 million lethal doses of fentanyl. We shut down a family trafficking empire that operated for 7 years. Behind her, photos displayed. Ahmed in handcuffs, the warehouse full of fentanyl, the community center basement. But this case is particularly heartbreaking because the traffickers weren't outsiders. They were community leaders, trusted figures, people who claimed to care about their neighbors. She paused, emotion visible. Ahmed Bashir donated to charities. His wife ran a nonprofit. His sons employed local workers. They attended mosques. They volunteered at schools. Her voice hardened, and all the while they were poisoning the very community they claimed to serve. We estimate their fentanyl killed approximately 900 people in Minneapolis alone over 7 years. 900 mothers, fathers, sons, daughters dead because the Bashir family prioritized profit over human life. But here's the hardest truth. The Bashir family is not alone. We have evidence of a nationwide network, 34 other families, 14 states, billions of lethal doses. The war on fentanyl is not over. It's escalating, and the enemy is hiding in plain sight. Share this video so more people understand the scope of this crisis. The trials began in April 2025. Ahmed Bashir sat in federal court, white beard trimmed, wearing a suit, dignity maintained even in prison orange. The prosecution presented overwhelming evidence, financial records showing $340 million in drug profits, encrypted messages coordinating distribution, testimony from 34 cooperating witnesses, forensic analysis linking Bashir fentanyl to 67% of Minneapolis overdoses. Ahmed's defense, "I was providing for my family in America. We came here with nothing." The prosecution called Emily Chen to testify. Now 18 years old, Emily took the stand. Her voice shook, but she didn't cry. "I almost died. I trusted someone who worked at a place I thought was safe. He gave me a pill he said would help my anxiety. It almost killed me." She looked directly at Ahmed. "You ran that place. You knew what was happening. You profited from my pain." The courtroom was silent. The jury deliberated for 6 days, guilty on all 89 counts. June 14, 2025. Sentencing. Ahmed Bashir, life in prison without parole plus 340 years. Halima Bashir, 67 years in federal prison. Hassan Bashir, 89 years in federal prison. Omar Bashir, 74 years in federal prison. Jamal Bashir, 52 years in federal prison. 14 other family members, sentences ranging from 15 to 45 years. As guards led Ahmed away, he turned to the judge. I came to America for opportunity. I built a life. I employed people. I supported my community. The judge's response was cold. You built an empire on corpses. You didn't support your community. You poisoned it. The other 49 defendants received similar sentences. Total, 68 convictions, 0 acquittals. If you believe justice was served, comment justice below. But the victory felt hollow. 34 other families in the network remained untouched. FBI Director Thomas Gray announced on June 20th, the investigation continues. Operation Broken Trust is now a national priority. We're coordinating with DEA, ICE, and state law enforcement across 14 states. We will find every node in this network, and we will dismantle it. But the timeline? Estimated 3 to 5 years. How many more will die while the investigation continues? The Minneapolis Somali community was devastated. Many felt betrayed. The Bashir family had been leaders, role models, proof that immigrants could succeed, said Imam Khalid Omar at a community meeting. Now we're all viewed with suspicion. Good families who came here for safety are being blamed for what one family did. Others felt vindicated. We suspected something was wrong, but we were afraid to speak up. They had power, money, connections. Emily Chen graduated high school in May 2025. She's attending community college now, studying social work. I want to help people like me, she said. People who trusted the wrong person. People who almost didn't get a second chance. She still has nightmares, PTSD, anxiety, but she's alive. 900 others aren't. If you're still watching, I need you to understand something critical. Fentanyl doesn't just come from cartels and street dealers. Sometimes it comes from people you trust, community leaders, business owners, nonprofit directors, people who smile and donate and volunteer. The Bashir family operated for 7 years. In plain sight, they won awards. They testified before lawmakers. They were featured in news stories about immigrant success. And all the while, they were killing people. Comment below if you believe community organizations need oversight. Share this if you think trust must be earned, not assumed. Subscribe because Operation Broken Trust exposed one network, but 34 more are still operating. The DEA estimates the broader network has distributed 8,900 kilograms of fentanyl annually. That's 4.45 billion lethal doses. Right now, someone is pressing pills in a warehouse disguised as a restaurant supply room. Right now, someone is distributing drugs from a community center where children play soccer. Right now, someone is laundering money through a nonprofit that claims to help refugees. The Bashir model is being replicated nationwide. We cannot assume that community leaders are clean. We cannot trust titles and donations and smiles. We need vigilance. We need accountability. We need to ask hard questions. If a nonprofit receives millions in donations but provides minimal services, ask where the money goes. If a small import business generates hundreds of millions in revenue, ask why. If a community center basement is off limits, ask what's down there. Shield or silence? Which side do you stand on? Emily Chen survived because doctors were ready, because naloxone was available, because someone asked questions. 900 others didn't survive because no one asked questions in time. The Bashir family thought their community standing made them untouchable. For 7 years, they were right. 34 other families are thinking the same thing right now. How long will they be right? The answer depends on us. If you suspect drug trafficking, report it, even if the suspect seems respectable, especially if they seem respectable. DEA tip line, 1-800-882-9539, FBI tip line, 1-800-CALL-FBI. One call can save lives. Emily Chen almost died at 17. Now she's 18, in college, building a future. 900 others never got that chance. Hit like if you believe justice is worth fighting for. Comment fight below if you're ready to hold leaders accountable. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens next in Operation Broken Trust. Share this story before it gets buried. We are the shield. We are the light. We are the ones who must ask hard questions. Will you ask them? Or will you assume that respectability equals honesty until someone else's child overdoses? The choice is ours. The war on fentanyl is fought in our communities, by us, right now. Will you join the fight?